Didn't you guys almost die camping too? Can you tell that story?
Yeah, we Ilya had this brilliant idea. Ilya's never camped before.
Right.
And I grew up camping. And I don't think any of the guys had camped really before.
You're so funny. You look tough and you're not.
I know.
Wait,
you have that big wing tattoo on you. You're like really muscular.
Whoa! Hold on a second. Why am I not tough? What happened?
You look tough.
I am tough.
You've never been camping.
I am tough.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He's like physically one of the most manly men, but like internally like
when he jumped off the boat at Shark Week.
Yeah, exactly. You're like literally
I get fucking dizzy. So what?
You're a baby. He gets nauseous.
I get nauseous.
Do the director at Shark Week.
What director?
The director who got too sick for the boat.
Oh, that's Jonah.
Jonah. Okay. No, but we went camping and Ilya had this brilliant idea because I don't know why did we go camping? What was the point of that?
I don't know. Alex one day was like, we should go camping for Nat Stock and like hike trails and like do all this physical activity stuff for weight loss. And I was like, yeah. So then we did.
For like getting the shots are really beautiful because like you're in nature and everything. Yeah. But when it comes down to the root of like preparing to camp and being in the middle, there's no cell service, there's no running water, there's no nothing. You have to make your fire, right?
Yeah.
And these guys like have never done that. And it was really interesting. Like we got to camp, it's just a piece of dirt and you have to like set up a tent and they kept questioning me. They're like, oh yeah, you're going to set up the tent? You know how to set up a tent? I was like, yeah, I know how to set up a fucking tent. I went to camp for like 7 years. This is what I did every summer.
Let me also say, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like,
yeah.
When I say nowhere, Jay, I mean fucking nowhere. The closest cell service that you'll get is an 1.5-hour drive. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to literally, from our campsite where we were, you have to drive an 1.5 hours to be able to get service.
Wow.
So, anything that happens, I mean, anything, any emergency, you are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's how deep in the woods we were.
Yeah. And we set up camp, we made our tents, and I actually cooked, like, steak and chicken for the boys, which was fun. It was really fun. Like, sitting around the campfire was great.
Yeah.
Then we wake up the next morning, and Ilya has mapped out all these different trails for us to do, not realizing that Sequoia National Park is like 100+ miles like around, right? You can't just like wake up and like walk onto a trail. Like you have to go drive there, and it's like an hour drive to a trail, and it's like it's a process. Like I saw in the morning, I was clearing out one of the cars so we could all fit into one car and drive together. And he's like, why are you clearing out what are you moving my shit for? And I was like, so we can get in the car and drive to the trail. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm putting on my shoes. We're going to walk there. And I was like, the trail's like 50 miles away, dummy. Like you can't just walk out of your tent and be on the trail.
It's so fun with you in charge.
But then we drove to this trail and it's 5 miles up, 5 miles down.
Yeah.
And I've never done 10 miles of anything in my life.
Yeah.
And we get to we're trying to get to this waterfall at the top. That's at this like 4 mile mark. And we get there. The sign is there, whatever. Ilya's like, we got to keep going. We got to go to the top of the mountain so we can see the top of the waterfall. And I'm like, the top of the mountain is like another probably 10 miles up. Like you don't just like, there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
And I threw a fit. I screamed and I said, I'm not fucking going up that mountain anymore. I will sit here, and when you realize that you can't get to the top of the mountain, I'll be here waiting for you.
Yeah.
And so I sat down and I waited, and 20 minutes later he came back and he was like, yeah, you know what? It's not gonna work. It's too far. And I was like, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing else that was cool up there.
And what did you find in the 20 minutes?
Well, I found that if you kept going, you would have had to hike about 3 more miles.
Yeah.
To get to the top, and then the incline, it was
vertical.
It became vertical. So I was like, yeah, we can't do that. And it's funny because people were actually doing it. It was fucking great. They're like climbing rocks.
Well, and those people were fully backpacked with tents, supplies, like whole backpacking things. We're just like I'm in my sports bra, my leggings. Like the sun is coming down. Not to mention, this trail specifically is known for having a lot of bears. We saw 2 bears while we were hiking, just like cross in front of us. Yeah, big bears, like size of this couch probably.
Bears are crazy looking, huh?
Yeah,
They're so
crazy.
Scary.
One of them, I didn't see the first one because Todd and I were taking some photos down the trail, but the boys were up there, and on our way down, we saw another one, and it just crossed the path right in front of us. And as it crossed the path, it like turned, locked eyes, which was terrifying, but then just turned back and just kept going up. But like, it's just so crazy because it feels so surreal in that moment. Like, it doesn't feel like it feels like it's a robot or something, right? Like, it's not real, but it could just snap and turn on you in a second and you're dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they're black bears, so they're actually not as harmful as brown bears. Seriously, they're not as aggressive.
Okay.
It's funny though, because I'm not exaggerating. Like, in 2 days after we came back, I saw a TikTok of a black bear like trying to fuck someone up on a trail. And I was like, whoa.
And we didn't have anything.
Got lucky.
We got so lucky. And
you guys are crazy to go out there like that.
that was like Ilya's mission too, was to find a bear. And I was like, no, you don't want to find a bear.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to bring like bear mace and like all this stuff, like in case, because, you know, could be pretty likely that you'd see one.
Yeah.
But he was just like, no, we don't need that.
So you go to sleep that night, and then you had some trouble.
Yeah, long story short, that night we go to bed in the tents. It's in one tent. It's me, Natalie, Todd, and Alex.
All you guys in one tent?
One tent.
What about the crew and stuff?
The crew is, well, it was only one guy. He was in his car. He was sleeping in his car. And yeah, it's probably like 10:30, 11 o'clock. We're going to bed, and we hear this truck pull up. And you can hear, I mean, everything. Yeah. You can hear a fucking leaf fall. Like, it's so quiet.
Yeah.
So we hear this truck pull up, and I'm like mad confused because the lights are shining at us, and it's 10:30 on a Sunday. There was nobody next to us during the day, so what is this truck doing? So I like peek out with Todd, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Are there any people that you've seen that night there?
No.
Nobody was on our campground at all. Like,
No.
we were the only campsite that was like rented.
So I open the tent up. Todd and I are looking around. Our camera guy, his name is Shane. Shane comes up to our tent. He's like, "Yo, do you guys see that?" Like, we both felt like some weird energy, and I like got out of the tent, and we heard some noises, and I was like, "Fuck this, let's dip." I don't want to take any risks, you know?
Yeah.
Because really, like I said, you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, what the fuck knows what this
The
guy's
other
doing?
thing too is like we were at this campsite with like we brought like Todd's Range Rover and Ilya's bright orange souped up BMW.
Yeah,
Like if you're gonna rob anybody in this place, like you're gonna like rob us or whatever.
Yeah, you guys are.
And and it just like you can obviously tell like we're not.
So what time was that
that
at that you
often.
packed up?
Well, we didn't pack up. That's the thing. We took all of
Ilya
our...
comes back to the tent, and me and Alex are just like, "Oh, it's gonna be fine. We just went to bed."
Yeah.
And Ilya comes running back into the tent, unzips, and he goes, "Yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here right now!" And Alex and I like jolt up. I just grab my blankets and I just running to the car like this, like thinking that something's gonna happen.
We leave all our shit there.
Oh,
Left
that's
everything.
why Wyatt couldn't borrow a tent.
Oh, that's why we didn't have the tents. I forgot. Yeah.
Should've just told me that.
Yeah, I honestly
I was asking Ilya and Alex for a tent for like a couple days.
Yeah.
You left them there.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
that we did that. Yeah. Yeah, we left them there.
And we bolted out of there. And then guess what? So we get down the road,
Yeah.
and then we're waiting there, and Ilya pulls up next to Todd, and he's like, "Yo, we forgot the Zila weights." So we turned around because Ilya left his custom Zila dumbbells at the campsite. And yeah.
Yeah.
You made them go back for that?
Yeah.
Oh, I went back for that shit. That's not replaceable, Jay. Not easily, at least.
They're dumbbells that say Zila.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that would have been like a 3-month wait right there. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll die for this.